I'm Aaron Deacon with KC Digital Drive, and today our guest is Jeff Shackelford with the Digital Sandbox. Thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, glad to be here.
So let's get right into it. Tell me about the Sandbox.
Well, we are a proof of concept program, which doesn't always tell people a lot, but we work with very early, I say early stage entrepreneurs to get from idea or concept to a working prototype, hopefully to a minimal viable product, get some beta customers, get a business, hire some people, grow the economy. So we are an economic development engine that deals with early stage entrepreneurs.
That sounds good. So what kind of help do you give them?
Well, it can range from maybe some resources they need. A lot of it, we kind of focus on the digital space, so it's typically mobile or web-based, or certainly has a major IT component. So a lot of that might be coding development, front-end, user experience, back-end, database, the web platform itself. But we can range beyond that. We've helped folks with intellectual property type of research and protection to getting the business set up. We see a lot of early stage entrepreneurs who may not even, quote, be in business yet. And so we'll help them get through that process as well. One thing I want to make clear, we fund projects. So our money doesn't pass through that entrepreneur in a sense.
Wait, so you've got money?
Yes, we have money.
We have money.
And we give it out in what I guess most accurately is referred to as grants. We don't take equity. It's not a loan. It's a grant because we're funded from a couple of sources: the Missouri Technology Corporation, Kauffman's one of our partners, the Block School, UMKC Block School is one of our partners. The U.S. Commerce Department has been a very good and strong partner for us and continues to be through the Economic Development Administration. So the idea is, the hypothesis was, can you drive significant economic development activity by working with early stage entrepreneurs? So instead of the classic, can we take a blighted area and buy a building and try to turn it around to create jobs? Can we work with early stage entrepreneurs, help them get in business, raise some money, and then go create jobs? So we do fund projects on average around $22,000 in project funding, but a specific project. We'll consult with a vendor to complete the project. The entrepreneur owns all the intellectual property, gets the project done. We hope that springboards them forward. We spend a great deal of time with them, getting them ready in most cases to go raise their first real round of equity funding.
Oh, cool.
So to date, we've funded 52 projects for 52 different companies. 33 of those have had a first round of funding, and it's over $18 million in equity combined across those 33. And most importantly for the Kansas City area, it's we're over about 182 to 183 jobs that were organically created. They didn't exist, and we didn't ask them to move across boundaries. We helped create those. So that's our world.
And over what time period is that?
We've launched this in February 2013. So you're talking a little more, about two, not quite 2.5 years. We've been at it. We'll continue doing that. We felt like there was a gap in the entrepreneurial ecosystem here. That if you're a less experienced entrepreneur and you're getting started, and you typically will hit roadblocks that require you to find some money. And depending if you don't have the right friends and family, or maybe didn't spend some time in the corporate world, and you don't have the 401k, things like $15,000, $20,000 to get you over the hump might as well be $1 million, because you don't really have an avenue.
Right.
You're not bankable by any means. And so the part of the struggle is they don't know where to go. So they come to the Sandbox. We have a process to put them through. We've seen over 300. In that time frame, we funded 52, so not everybody gets funding.
Okay.
Everybody gets a recommended next step. So a lot of folks we see, we might recommend a fast track new venture course. Hey, we think there's some merit to your idea, but you need to flesh it out a bit more. You need to kind of get a business plan created.
And Fast Track New Venture
Fast Track New Venture is a 9-week course, meets once a week for 3 hours. That will really help you once you get through that. Have a finished business plan. Have your concept a little more refined. Be in a much better position to come see us.
Okay.
And we've had folks apply 3 times before. We've said you're at the right time, right place, ready to go.
So you can come back if you don't get it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
As well as we give them a recommended step. The ones that may come and present and we don't fund the first time, we'll give them a list of concerns. Here's what the evaluating team sees. And I have the secret sauce for the Sandbox really is, we have a terrific evaluation team. And that's made up of people who, in their daily lives, work with early stage entrepreneurs. So,
cool.
Enterprise Center, Johnson County, somebody's from there, Mid-America Angels, Women's Capital Connection, Small Business Technology Development Center. Got a great corporate support, so someone from Garmin, someone from Hallmark, folks, and it's a team, 5 to 6, and we'll see six presentation cycles in a quarter, and,
Oh, wow.
within each of those, 4 to 6 companies present.
Okay.
They get 15 minutes of uninterrupted time to tell their story. We get 15 minutes to Q&A, and then at the end of that cycle, so you're looking at 22 to 28 companies. Which ones do we think might be at the right time, right place, that the dollars that we can provide for funding, project funding, would make a significant difference?
Are these local people?
All local.
Okay.
We're about Kansas City Metro.
So give me an example of what you've, like, if you've got a $15,000 or $20,000 project. What has somebody done? They come to you and they said, "I need help doing this." And you're like, "Okay, here, we can give it to you."
We've had a couple of gentlemen come to us who had the medical background and had developed algorithms that if you're a migraine sufferer,
Mhm.
atmospheric conditions and your daily activity play a big part in causing migraines. So they kind of had that background and knew and had a concept that if you could put that on a mobile phone, to where if you're a migraine sufferer and you looked and you said, "Hey, you're 80%, about an 80% chance you're going to have a migraine, take preventative steps." They had no concept of how you build that mobile app and how you would do that.
So they had the idea.
They
They're
had
like,
the
"Okay,
idea
we
and
know
said,
that
yeah.
this is happening, but we don't
Exactly.
know how to make this a real thing for people to use."
Exactly. We've got a gentleman that was in the kind of the construction space, and think smaller construction companies might have 30 jobs going at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they move their crews today is either with a primitive whiteboard. Oh, we didn't get the electrical coding wasn't done, so we can't do the electrical. I need to move the crew over here, over there, or a very elementary spreadsheet. And he's taking that and turning that into a platform that includes the mobile, to where you could send your crews out any given time in a dynamic environment. They simply look at their phone. So, that's an example of somebody working in a space, seeing a problem, and
Yeah.
saying, well, in that case, the money will be spent on a coding project for them.
Okay, and so you'll hire coders, developers to go out and write that
Right.
code
Right.
to produce that.
You're probably
platform.
familiar with Shot Tracker, the
Yep.
wearable device to track your shooting. We help them with some engineering, some product engineering of the
okay.
device that goes into that wearable sleeve. At that time it was a sleeve. Now they've gotten it even smaller. So a lot
Okay.
of those things. We've done a market research project for a company that was looking at automating how we track, in this sense, cattle from birth through feedlot
Oh,
to slaughter,
interesting.
because that's all done.
Yeah.
scribbles
Oh,
and
yeah.
papers and so it ranges.
Okay.
We have a lot of software platform ideas, a few in the educational space.
Uh-huh.
How do we use today's technology in a classroom
Okay.
to help do some things, to tracking of animals, to a social media site that would allow you just to go out and put your opinion out there, and then let everybody else respond to that.
Okay.
So,
So I'm thinking about your construction example. I mean, that
Mhm.
sounds like something. I mean, that'd be great if these guys could start a business that does this.
Mhm.
But they're also helping construction businesses in Kansas City be more efficient by
Right.
delivering that product here, right?
Exactly. We love seeing entrepreneurs who are experts in a particular space solving a known problem,
Mhm.
right? You get excited when you go, the problem exists today. So if the problem exists, then you've got a solution, you've got a market. It gets a little hazy when people come in and say, "I'm trying to create something that people don't know they need."
Right.
I always joke with them and say, unless you're Stephen Jobs and you convince me I need a device
Yeah.
this big to carry 800 songs that I never had, and even then people have said, well, you trace that back to disk. But we like that kind of approach.
Mhm.
Problem exists today. You work in the space. You've got the expertise, and so exactly. He took his an early beta to a conference, and I think the first 10 people that walked up all said, "I want it, I want it, I want it." Now you're onto something, right?
Yeah.
Now he came to us and said they want it, but it needs this feature, this feature, this feature, this feature, and I don't know how to get those built. And so that's what we help them
Okay.
with. Hey, let's get those features built for you, because you've got a market and a product, and you're solving a real commercial problem. Your likelihood of success is going up with each one of those things.
hmm And so you're with the migraine sufferer app that you were talking about. I mean, this guy came to you with an idea to do this. Is that something that exists now? Is that something that people can download?
There were things, and I warn people who come to present to the Sandbox, because a lot of people come in and say, we have no competitors.
Mm-hmm.
And I warn them that I typically have my Mac in front of me, and I'll do a 15-second Google search, like something like that. There were things like diaries that add people if you'll track a diary of your activity over time, they would hope that they could see different changes in activity. Nobody had really kind of combined taking atmospheric conditions, and I'm certainly not an expert in this area, have a big play in that. Pollen count, barometric pressure, things along those lines. Nobody had taken it and put it into a format that made it very easy. And now I think what you'll see is with wearables, even getting the daily activity, you'll just combine all the data points to do that. And so that's, again, their expertise was on the medical side. They developed some algorithms. They had tested them to show that they really do work. But they said, we're not technical. We've had several come in who lack the technical side of it. And so then we fund that project to get them a developer and start to form a relationship, hopefully with a vendor that they'll keep for quite some time.
So are they taking customers and users now?
They are. They're still in beta.
Okay.
As you would expect, anything in the healthcare side, you need tests for a long time. Still in beta, but yeah, they're out there doing that.
Is this well-to-do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Chris
Cardinal.
and crew. I love to use Chris as an example because it resonates with people who go, okay, I get that.
But his wife's a migraine sufferer, I think, right?
I think
he's got a deep personal story that says, okay.
Right.
And so, I think Well-to-Do is the name of the app that you can.
Yes.
I think it's available for download.
I think so. It's a beta. So those are perfect examples. The range of what's really been terrific is a couple of things. The volume of applicants has not slowed down for us.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's always this idea because we launched this like any startup on a hypothesis.
Yep.
So the number of creative, imaginative, bright people in Kansas City has no limit, and so the volume continues to see. The other we realized was as important as the funding dollars, we've become a connector organization. So people come in, and even if we don't fund them, we say, you know what, we think if we can help, let me help you get you connected over here. And maybe it's to a corporation.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, you guys have huge corporate partnerships, and to do all that different stuff, the research and the development, and to know how to get those things done, that's a lot of skills, and your staff is huge, right?
You're looking at my staff. You're looking at the staff for the Sandbox, though. I get some part-time help, and I've recently contracted with someone to do some communications and help keep up because we've kept the overhead as low as possible. As we grow, we'll probably need to add some, but we've leaned on corporate partners, Sprint and Hallmark and UMB and VML and Cerner and Garmin, AMC, DST. All of the kind of the who's who here have always been open to. We want to help. What we learned is we have to figure out exactly what to ask them for, because they're not used to being a large corporation going, oh, we've got all these ideas of how to help entrepreneurs. What they all have is so much intellectual talent. So you may find someone who doesn't have a finance background. Well, you know what? Sprint, Hallmark, UMB, they all have finance people. So can we get you a mentor, so to speak, to help you with that side of it? We had some young kids working on some 3D printing, early stage 3D printing ideas. We took them down to see Hallmark with a room of, there's probably 8 people in the room from Hallmark. Nobody's been working at 3D printing longer than Hallmark. Right. So the interaction of seeing that group, the experienced folks ask these younger folks, have you hit this roadblock, have you hit this roadblock, have you hit this roadblock? Because they knew if you hadn't hit those roadblocks, you will, and here's how to get around them. So things like that are just sort of dynamic, but they're so valuable. Hallmark's been terrific, and last summer they did our Summer in the Sand program, hosted it. This summer Sprint's hosting it at the Accelerator. Hallmark's done an innovation showcase. We did a crowdfunding event.
What's Summer in the Sand?
Summer in the Sand is an educational program.
Is that something that's coming up?
Yeah, we're in the midst of it now. This summer we're doing 4 different types of events. One was on who got funded and how they got funded in Kansas City, to give the background on that. One was how do you present to the Sandbox, because we get a lot of people who don't quite understand this is really a pitch, a 15-minute pitch presentation. And so we kind of walk through the things we look for. Our third one coming up will be around getting out and getting customers early in your development process, because the real learning comes the first time you hand a so-called product to someone and they say, oh, it's great, but that could do all these things. And then our fourth one is a panel of local funding entities. We'll have folks from Mid-America Angels, Women's Capital Connection, Open Air Ventures, Flyover Capital, maybe 1 or 2 more.
How do people go to this stuff?
It's out public, it's free. This summer's all hosted at the Sprint Accelerator. we ask that you do register. You can go to the Digital Sandbox KC.com website, register, but it's free.
Cool.
They're 2-hour events, usually with about 30 to 35 minutes or 45 minutes of presentation, then Q&A, and then a little networking.
And what if you've got an idea that you want to, play in the sandbox with?
Same website, digitalsandboxkc.com. We have a kind of executive summary format that we
Okay.
ask you to complete. You complete that. We'll schedule you a presentation to come in and present to the evaluating team. And then from there, our world is we're going to make a recommendation and help you any way we can. We want to get as many of these folks in business as possible because it creates the jobs.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Good.
Well, thanks so much. Anything else that you want to say?
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity to come on, and I always love to share the Sandbox story, and thrilled that you're running the What's Up Kansas City tech side, and hopefully we a lot of folks in here continue. The challenge for all of us is we've seen such exponential growth in the entrepreneurial community here. We got to sustain it, and we got to continue to grow it. So I think let's touch all the channels and get the entire metro area up to such a great pace that we will become America's most entrepreneurial city.
Absolutely, yeah. And we'd love to get some of those entrepreneurs in here to talk about what they're doing.
We'll do it.
I think that'll be great.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you very much. If you want to check out more videos, you can go to whatsupkansascity.net. Thank you very much for our sponsors. Again, I'm Aaron Deacon with KC Digital Drive. This is Jeff Shackelford with Digital Sandbox. Thanks for watching.
I'm IFBB Bikini Pro Cat Williams, and when I'm not working out in the gym, I'm searching the web on Cascade Media and What's Up Kansas City. So make sure you check them out.